One. Welcome everybody to Tuesdays with Tim, featuring the dulcet tones of Randy C. Watts running the show in the middle now, and his 50,000 watt station Momo Nomo, and then my 1200 watt station Latter Daily Digest.
A lot of watts, Gene.
That's right. And Tim has 0 watts.
I even it out.
Tim's got the volts, you've got the amps,
and you got the watts.
Got the watts.
Yeah. So Tim, how are you doing?
Okay.
Have you seen any good doctors lately?
Yesterday and today.
I remember when Billy Crystal did his show about the guys that rustle cattle. What's the name of that?
City Slickers.
City Slickers.
Oh, yeah.
And he starts out the show, and his mom calls him because it's his birthday, and she says, at 4:27 a.m., 50 years ago, you came out. And then she says, here, talk to your father. And he says something like, I just had a procedure at the doctor. Here's your mother. Or something like that. Dad didn't want to talk, and old people just talk about their appointments at the doctors all the time. So Janine can come on the show anytime. Jules can come on at some point. Lisa, I guess I
have to take care of a little bit of business.
Okay.
I want to thank any of you that are on here already, and anyone who may come on. Apparently, you did what I asked you to do last week, and you got on your knees and you prayed for the Seahawks to win.
To win.
And your prayers were heard. The Seahawks won, and I'm so happy for
Randy's
that
happy.
fact, and that you all, I know it's because of your prayers. It's no other reason, is that our listeners were praying.
And maybe the power of the prayers was most evident in the fourth quarter for the defense.
Yeah, God does not listen to the Rams from Los Angeles because California, that's a sinful state. You two are examples of who comes out of California.
Right.
So
that's right. Tim and I represent Northern and Southern California, because I considered Bakersfield Southern California, even though
Central.
It's its own thing.
It's its own thing.
Yes. It's not Hollywood. Yeah.
I
So what was the final score?
That there's a chance of snow tomorrow.
Where?
Here in Spokane, Washington.
Wow. Cool.
Well, that's nothing new for us, but I was kind of enjoying the lack of snow. But oh well, you know what they say in Indonesia.
It was a rough day here in the Bay Area at 6. I had to deal with 65-degree balmy weather. Went on a nice walk with Michelle.
What do they say in Indonesia?
I don't know. I've never been there.
Oh, okay.
No idea.
Yeah, I guess snow is moisture. Because Lisa, can anyone explain why the governor of Utah is asking for prayers for snow?
Yeah, yes, because the Salt Lake is drying up.
That's right. The snowpack melts during the summer and goes into the rivers and the reservoirs.
No, there's too many people now in Utah, or especially around Salt Lake. They built it up so much that they're using all the water, and the Salt Lake is literally drying up.
So you're saying it's receding?
Yes.
If all the people in Utah just jumped in, it would go right back up, and the problem would be over.
You'd have to have water in there first for them to
until they jump out.
There's not much water in there anymore. It's getting pretty bad.
So they want it to snow in Utah.
They want it to
You
snow in
want
Utah.
prayers for snow.
Yeah. That's why.
Lisa's going to donate her snow
Good, Lisa.
to Utah.
You guys hear an audience laugh?
Do I hear an audience laugh? No.
Yeah. Okay.
Are you trying your sound machine?
No, I am pushing a few buttons, but not on my sound panel because I couldn't get it to stop repeating itself.
Right.
Don't play with that toy tonight.
So
For that.
somebody mentioned in the chat a few last week and maybe even earlier, how Mormon were you would be a good subject.
So, how Mormon were you?
I'll start it off by saying I was so Mormon, I thought drinking Coca-Cola, I have to make sure since I'm in California, which Coke product I'm talking about. That Coca-Cola, if you drank it, you wouldn't make it to heaven. That's what I thought.
Wow. That's pretty
Well,
funny.
you're probably not going to make it anyway, Gene, because now not only do you drink Coke, but you're a freaking evil
snort it.
apostate on top of all that. So, yeah.
I never
think your
liked the
chances are
idea
nil.
of sniffing up anything in my nose. I've
Ooh,
never,
no.
that didn't seem like a good thing ever to me.
I was
So
talking
negative.
about Coca-Cola, but I guess
Right.
you could snort that
I
too.
added that you said you not only drink Coca-Cola, and then I said, and I sniff it. But anyhow, so let's see, Randy, what were some of the things that you did that made you Mormon without people hearing that you're Mormon?
The first thing that comes to mind is when I was a priest, I was president of the priest quorum. My best friend David was was first counselor, and my second best friend was second counselor. So the three of us were just best friends. And we decided to go to a movie, and it was at the Old Mesa Theater, and the movie was Carrie. And we'd heard that it was good, and so the three of us went into the theater and sat down, and the movie started up, and there was some nudity in it. She's in the shower, she's in need of
Showering.
feminine hygiene products, and they're throwing them at her in the shower, and she's stark naked, and we're like, oh,
That's because she was
someone's
so Christian, she didn't know what a period was. So
well,
we're doing
no,
how
it was
Mormon were
us
you?
three that thought, I mean, don't get me wrong, we had no problem with nudity, but what we had a problem with was being so afraid that someone from our teachers' quorum or priest quorum was going to see us, or someone in the ward, and we're supposed to be the exemplary guys.
That's right. You have
And
authority.
it's pure hypocritical. It was a hypocrisy kind of move. But we all kind of stayed bent down, and we snuck out of our seats and snuck out of the theater and missed the movie. Why? Is it because we had high morals? No, it was because we did not want to be seen by any fellow ward members. And that was our biggest fear.
What would even make you more Mormon is if you didn't take the sacrament that week.
Right? Yeah, because I had seen, Carrie.
Yeah.
In all of her glory. So from then on, because it was a learning lesson, we would drive to the drive-through theater in Apache Junction, Mesa, when they would have these edgy R-rated films where we could get our fill of seeing boobs and not worry about who was seeing us because we were inside a vehicle.
We had a
Wow.
theater that there was like 3 theaters sort of around, and so outdoor, what do you call it, drive-in.
Yeah.
And then like on the other side of the freeway was another drive-in, but that had adult films. So if we were parked just right on ours, we could sort of look and see a little slanty edge of a screen of some adult things that were happening. And then I was shocked once there was a commercial just at the regular drive-in. I mean, we could have been watching, Bambi or, who is it
Debbie
that
Does Dallas.
comes down in a umbrella? What's the name of that? Mary
Oh,
Poppins.
Mary
Yeah.
Poppins.
And like in between the 2 or 3 movies was commercials, right? And one was about as RX rated as I've ever seen a commercial for movies. And but anyway, it stood out in my mind as I think I was a priesthood age. So I
Oh,
didn't have to,
pre-priesthood.
yeah. So I wasn't breaking my exemplar thing to look at it, but it was shocking. Well, Tim, what things made you Mormon when you were during your life?
Well, I bought a magazine, and the publishing house also published porn. And I was very concerned about it for a while. I thought, well, am I supporting them and what they're doing? And I remember talking to somebody about it. And he said, don't worry about it, kid.
I could also say I was so Mormon when I was young. I went to church what seemed like 10 hours a day, but probably was closer to 6 hours a day.
It was about 6
on
hours.
Sunday.
Yeah.
On Sunday.
Yeah.
Tell us about
we had
the Sunday meetings, Tim.
priesthood meeting in the morning and Sunday school. And then
Around
3
noon.
hours later, sacrament meeting. So you go for an hour and then some for priesthood meeting. And you prepare the sacrament between priesthood meeting and Sunday school. Sunday school is about 90 minutes. And then you go home and you come back around. Ours was at 5 or 6. And you get 90 minutes more of church for sacrament.
2 hours if it was high council.
High council week, yes. 2 hours. So it was high
They
council.
couldn't put a cork in it.
That's right. That's right.
And then we went to church during the week. We went to either primary or Mutual Improvement Association.
Yes, on Tuesdays for me. Primary for Wednesday and mutual was Tuesday night.
And so you never were M-Min or Gleaner or whatever.
No, that ended before I
just before you hit the
just before I hit the age. Yeah. Must have been 65 or 65 when they ended, because 66 was when I turned.
So I remember being in second grade or something, and I was on the safety patrol. So I got to go to school 15 minutes early, and I go to the office and I get like a little hat and a sash, a red sash that said I was in the safety patrol. And I stood in front of the gates of the school. And so then some kindergartners were coming and they were rowdy. And one of them said the F word. And I said, you don't even know what that means. And he said, it means pee-pee. And then I thought to myself, I don't even know what that word means. So I don't know how many more years went by before I found out what that word meant. But all I knew was a bad word. But that was definitely the wrong thing to say. It's like, you don't know what that means, since I didn't know.
I remember, okay, I had relatives that lived in Star Valley, Afton, Wyoming, and Afton was created for one reason and one reason only. Well, they kept tithing cattle up there, but polygamy. Okay. And look at a map of Star Valley and see how it's laid out. There's Freedom, Wyoming, and then there's, you cross the border, like my grandfather would be in one part and the other One family was in Afton, the other family was in Montpelier, Bear Lake, Idaho. Yeah. So we were driving down the street one day and I saw some kids smoking. And I said to my mom, those guys are breaking the word of wisdom. They're not Mormon. Oh, remember that. But when Randy's gone.
Yeah. Becoming Maturely Whole says, I remember staying in my church clothes all day Sunday. No TV. No playing with toys. Read scriptures or pray. That's all you got to do.
Hey, I got home and I switched to my play clothes and I played with my friends. And I switched back in for soccer meeting. Or I went to the movies. I go to the movies on Sunday. There's Randy.
I just popped into the Twilight Zone.
When you were talking,
sudden it's completely black around me, and I feel a swirling sensation, and I realize I'm in the of the Twilight Zone.
No. When you were,
I'm glad I could find you guys again because
when you were talking about not being a good example. Okay, my dentist was a member of the church, and my friend and I went to go see Cross of Iron. And who should walk in? My dentist and his wife, and all these other guys that are on high council. We're sitting there watching the movie, and I'm looking around and I look at these guys, and I'm going, we're not supposed to see R-rated movies. And they're here. Well, I'm not going to worry about it anymore.
Yeah, it's like if a cop comes flying by you and is breaking the speed limit, then you shouldn't care about tucking in behind him and going right along and speed.
That's right. That's right.
That's what he's going to do.
I thought that was so funny, though. It was like, oh, this is really interesting. You know, it's not the first R-rated movie I'd ever seen, but it was like the fifth or sixth. I can't remember.
But it was about shooting people and killing people.
Shooting and killing people.
It was a good R-rated movie.
Good war movie. Yeah.
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 You know, when I was living in Mesa, my parents, and you guys don't know them, so they're not going to get mad at me if I tell you this story. But they told me that they were heading out on Friday. They were going to a movie. And I said, what movie are you going to go see? Oh. And without hesitation, my dad said it's called I Am Curious Yellow. And I said, that's because for some reason, we don't know why, the Mesa Theater, which was pretty much a Mormon theater, old-timey, was showing, they had 2 X-rated movies that they were showing in one of their theaters. And my mom and dad were going to go to one of them. I said, you guys know that's X-rated, right? And he's like, yeah, we're taking our friends, and told me who they're taking. We just were curious, thought we'd see what an R-rated movie was like. I said, no, it's not R, it's X. And they said, yeah, we just thought we'd go see what it's like. And I'm thinking, I actually thought that was kind of cool that they were doing that, but they came home pretty early in the evening. They said they walked out. Well, been there, done that.
Have you seen it? Have you seen it, Randy?
Had I seen it? No.
No. Have you ever seen it?
Have you seen it since?
I don't think I have the I saw Behind the Green Door. Does that count?
Oh, that's worse than I Was Curious Yellow.
Yes.
Yeah. I Am Curious Yellow is R-rated compared to Behind the Green Door.
I Am Curious Yellow was PG-13 compared to Beyond the Green Door.
Now you're making me feel like an apostate.
Definitely X-rated.
I probably shouldn't talk about anything I've seen then.
You can talk about whatever you want to see, Rio for Life.
Hi, Rio for Life.
There's DDD, which was a standard. Debbie Does Dallas and Candy Stripers.
Oh, yeah, Candy Stripers.
When I was 14 and I moved to Minnesota, I was the only Mormon in my whole town. And this was the beginning of my 5 years of my first time of being inactive. I didn't tell people I was Mormon. I mean, it was too scary. They had pamphlets about how to save Mormons from hell, and I didn't realize we needed to be saved. And so, but my father owned the only video rental store in the area and was one of the first. And so we had adult movies in my home. And so basically, probably 95% of the area over a 6 year period of time saw their first adult movie in my living room. And so it's like, it, it's, it, it's not a badge of honor. It's just kind of was like a rite of passage, I guess.
They're just
What were they
educational.
renting
I
videotapes,
love
did
it.
you say? Or how were they doing
We
that?
owned them. We had the video rental store. So we had
Oh,
movies in the home. And so, yeah.
yeah.
But this was my, yeah, my first, like I said, I'm 14, 15 years old, been raised Mormon my whole life. I hadn't even heard a swear word, let alone any of this. And so I didn't quite know what to think of in it. I didn't even know what sex was until a lot of this. So I just thought it was interesting nail polish and makeup and poor dialogue. I mean,
So you must not have known Jules because you could have called and asked Jules.
probably. So,
How you doing,
That's
Jules? We're
cute.
talking
so I
X-rated
was
movies
real
here,
Mormon until I
We're
wasn't,
talking
but I didn't
X-rated
tell
movies.
people.
We're
right?
talking, no, we're talking. I was so Mormon that.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
remember mine? I was so Mormon. I got a license plate that said CTR truck.
Yeah, right.
Gosh, that is so Mormon.
That is so Mormon.
I never
Yeah,
tipped more than 10% to anyone because I wasn't going to give more than I gave God.
that's right. Nobody's worth
Wow.
more than God.
And that
Wow.
went on up until probably, I don't know, about 7 years ago. So,
Wow.
That would be
yeah.
cool if your server actually was God. What would you
Yeah.
like?
Maybe if their server was God.
You
You know,
know?
if the server was Mormon, you should have tipped them 11% so they can at least keep the 10% that you tip them.
The 1%.
yeah.
I tip very well now to be because I've learned the value. It's different. That way of thinking it's so fundamental Mormon too. It's just, we were always a little extra Mormon in our family, Molly Mormon was a badge of honor, not anything to be ashamed of. Year
Yeah.
supply for
See,
every member of our family, rotating, using it daily. Oh yeah, we definitely homemade clothes, all chastity worthy and modest, and oh yeah,
You know, I
definitely.
just realized something that all of us could say. We were so Mormon that we knew Jesus was born on April 6th.
April 6th.
Yes,
That's
That's
right.
how
that's
Mormon we were.
true. I did know
yes,
that.
I did know
Right.
that.
We didn't just think it or hope it. We knew for a
Nope.
fact.
We knew it. We knew
Yep.
it.
Well, we
And that
had,
made me feel smarter than my
seriously, you
classmates.
guys, we had a prophet of God who was receiving
That too.
revelation
That too.
That
directly
received
from him.
discernment.
So there's a lot of things we knew. But you know what? He
Yeah.
missed the pandemic. Did you notice that? The one
Yeah.
true prophet upon the earth.
Missed it
Who was
by
a
See the
doctor?
pandemic coming,
Who was a doctor? He missed it.
right?
Yeah. He missed it.
Yeah.
For me, the most Mormon thing I ever accomplished is I learned how to pray unceasingly where every thought was an utterance to God, which became religious scrupulosity, but I did accomplish it. I was able to pray unceasingly.
Good for you. Good
And
for
I'm
you.
so glad I don't
Mine
need
was
to do that anymore.
I built a
Yours
big
was
old
what?
shelf.
Shelf of
You
what?
what, Jules?
I built a shelf as a Mormon. there was there was so much stuff that I would find out as a member, and I would just say, "Oh, this was just placed in front of me," just because it's a way to try to, tempt me away, and or someone would say something like, I remember finding out the whole white salamander story from someone, and he was just talking about the actual, salamander letter and the story in it. I'm like, oh no, that can't be true. So I go and look it up and find out the whole
It's true.
thing about Mark Hoffman and everything. But I was like, oh no, this is just something that's being made up just because it's testing my faith, and
Onto the
sure
shelf.
enough, it was true. Yeah, shelf
Yeah,
item,
shelf item.
Same with the God makers. Someone said, oh, they don't drink Coke, and in the God makers, you'll see that they have something about Coke on there, and there were a lot of things that went on there, and they were just things to throw on the shelf.
Okay, my grandparents drank Pepsi, so they didn't drink Coke. And he was a patriarch of the stake and the bishop for 20 years. And they drank Pepsi.
Why
I
wouldn't
survived the
they?
12-step
I mean,
program
really,
for
the Word of
coffee.
Wisdom, I'm pretty sure, does not mention Pepsi or Coke.
Well,
It doesn't mention anything but hot drinks and alcohol.
It just meant, yeah. And it
So the
mentioned,
church
but it
gets
also
together
meant,
and says, people are enjoying Coke and they're enjoying Coke and Pepsi way too much. I think we should yank these from the available list too.
I think
well,
we should
they
expand
just
the
say
approved
caffeine
list.
drinks. They never said Coke or Pepsi. They said caffeinated drinks. They were
it says
always
strong drinks and hot drinks. I know it says that. And
right.
to me, it was always defined as coffee and tea.
Right.
And like one gospel principles teacher said, oh no, it does not include Mountain Dew, because we like that.
Well, I was told that the reason for the coffee, the hot drinks, and tea was because to limit the women congregating and talking, because they would talk over their hot beverages, and that was what the consequence of was the laziness of not wanting to clean. It was a whole Relief Society lesson once, and it was like, are you kidding me? Really? This is my
I
punishment for not wanting to clean?
well, I know the tobacco came from the chewing
ahead,
tobacco,
Jules.
right? That would seep through the ceiling
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
down to where.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. We were so Mormon that we knew exactly what boiled wheat tasted like for breakfast.
Wow.
And we were tired of it, but we ate it all the time because that's what we had. That's
Wow.
what your supply had. And
That's right. So you could say you had a year's supply of food. That would make you pretty Mormon.
Yeah.
yeah, right? Yeah.
It was really
We
like
never
a
had
year's
that.
supply of wheat, and then who knows how
You
many
ground
days
it
or
up and
months
sprout.
worth of
Then
everything
you
else.
learn how to sprout.
It was easy to get a year's supply of wheat. You just have a big 50-gallon barrel per person in your family, and that's a year's supply or whatever.
You get muscles from hand grinding too.
Until the mice get into it and eat it all up.
Ooh,
Then you have
that's
extra
poor
protein.
storage. That's human error.
Okay.
No, they were in metal containers, and
Oh
somehow the mice.
no.
Somehow the mice
Ooh.
got in. Don't ask me how. I don't know.
But see, that would be my parents' judgment. That's poor human planning if your food storage got contaminated.
That's
We had a
when I was in
state
Utah.
representative come to our teachers' quorum to teach us. And he gave us a lesson that I do have to say I remembered it. The first thing he did was he wrote on the chalkboard, "Evel Knievel is a liar."
What?
And he didn't say a word about it. He just left it up there on the top of the chalkboard. And throughout the course of his lesson, he told us about how we're young men and we're going to look at girls. But the most important thing that we need to remember when we look at young ladies is what they look like from the neck up. He says the last look you take at her needs to be looking at her face, and that's what you're to remember. Otherwise, you're sinning.
Wow.
So I'm not kidding. All through my childhood and junior high and high school, when I'd look at a girl, I'd always feel obligated to look at her face and nothing else, because he said that in the meeting. And I mean, at least her face is what I looked at last, and that's what I remembered. But anyway, that had a real impact on me, and it lasted right up until, I guess, now. I mean, still, I try not to remember what I'm seeing from the face down. I'm looking at their face and who they are. But anyway, he wiped his board clean and waited for a few minutes, and we said, "Well, what about what you wrote on the board about Evil Knievel?" He said, "What did I write?" And we said that Evil Knievel is a liar. He said, "I did write that. And for the rest of your lives, every one of you in here will remember that sentence, because I wrote it, I showed it to you, and I didn't even need to say anything." And he's right. We all remember Evil Knievel's a liar. But I was
But he
so
did.
Mormon, I guess, is my point, that I only did the checkup from the neck up when I'd pass a girl. Now I'm just an old horn dog, but back then I really was a righteous little guy.
Holly
Well-
says she remembers getting in trouble for using powdered eggs to make cookies when mom wasn't home. And so probably because it was the food storage, not because, I mean, I'd be proud if any of my kids used powdered eggs for making
Yeah.
cookies. But that could happen.
We had those caramel rapples. I don't know if you remember them. They would have 6 sheets of caramel that you could just wrap around the apple to make a candied apple.
Oh, yeah.
We had those in our food storage by the case. And so I
Wow.
would take them out
Wow.
and take them to school to share with people, the rapples caramels. And I looked at it. I wasn't allowed to talk to or be friends with people who weren't members. So that was my way of doing missionary work, by giving them rapples.
So you weren't allowed to have
Wow.
non-member friends?
No, I was not allowed to have non-member friends.
Oh, now
What?
That's pretty
yeah.
I
Mormon.
lived in Denver, Colorado, and I went to Sheridan Middle School, and I was not allowed.
Wow.
That is over Mormon.
Wow.
Yep. Nope. I would get in trouble. There were girls in my ward. They would rat me out to my leadership, not my parents, and then I'd get called into the bishop's office about my fraternization and my, inappropriate behavior at school.
Nothing culty
Wow.
about that, huh?
No,
Jeez.
but the
This is who you can
workaround
speak to.
was I got to be good friends with 2 of the deacons, and I could hang out with them on the basketball court, and they were allowed to play basketball with anybody. So, but I couldn't hang out with non-member girls, but I could hang out with non-member boys. Kind of a little flirty fishy, it sounds like, but
It was probably for a flirt to
That's
convert.
weird.
That's
yeah,
right.
yeah. But I was 13, I didn't know I didn't care about any of that yet, but it was always interesting because I have the non-member family. My dad joined after the divorce. So every other weekend I'd be with my smoking and drinking stepdad and mom. And they are demonized, and I'm better than them as a child. I'm so Mormon that I am better than my parents. Oh yeah.
More
But
temple
I
worthy.
mean, for me it was the possibility of being that eternal mother, that eternal being, having these eternal children forever. That was what kept me in and kept me going. Is I was one of those that actually wanted that. I wanted to be that eternal polygamous wife. I thought there was nothing better on anything. You'd
Wow.
You
be,
wanted to be a goddess.
surrounded by all the love that you helped create, and yeah, blah 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 blah. when they took that away in like 2020 and made all this fuss, I'm like, what? You've got to be kidding me. And that was all when my shelf was breaking and the world was falling apart. And so, wow, I sit here going, man, I was way too Mormon. No wonder people didn't want to hang out with me, because all I would want to do was figure out how to get them to come to church. I couldn't make friends because everything was converting someone.
That's right.
So,
That
but I
is the
also didn't.
thing.
You didn't live in Utah? I think that is kind of a mission field Mormon kind of thing. I don't think a lot of people in Utah really got that.
Yeah, they probably just
Every,
assume that everybody's Mormon.
yeah, this is where I have to assume everybody's not.
So I was so Mormon that I read the Book of Mormon 8 times before I graduated high school.
Wow.
Favorite
And
verse?
I was so much of a Mormon boy. I loved the war scenes in the Book of Mormon.
Of course. Of course.
Wow.
Well, I was so Mormon that when I would get a piece of bread as a snack, I used to love to break it up and eat it
Pretend.
like sacrament, because I could never get more than one piece of bread in sacrament. So I just make my own.
You didn't eat it afterwards, huh?
Oh, we did. Oh gosh, yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
Anything that was left over went straight into our mouths.
Yes.
Got to do
Exactly.
those 24-hour fast Sundays. None of that 2 meal stuff. That's not fasting.
Oh, that's too bad,
And you got to fast
Janine.
with a purpose. Can't just fast because it's the first Sunday of the month.
Yeah, Janine says she was so Mormon, she was silently sad the whole time because her mom wasn't a member and she wanted to be in heaven with her. And so she was so mad that it was sad to her that her mother wasn't going to be in heaven with her.
So sorry.
That
That's a tough
is
feeling.
sad, actually.
Yeah, it
That
is.
is
That's very
sad.
sad.
Yeah. I'm sure that my parents and my siblings are thinking the same kind of thing, though.
My
We
dad,
thought we'd live with Randy forever, but he's on his way to hell. So, say la vie.
my dad wasn't active, but I never worried about that. Jeez.
Yeah, well,
I
here's
was
another
so-
thing. Go ahead, Tim.
I was so Mormon, I made this stupid mistake. I said, if everybody lived the gospel, they wouldn't need mental health professionals. I was stupid. I said that back in the
That is so
70s.
That's a
Mormon.
big one.
I was
That's
also
so
going to say
Mormon.
Tim was so Mormon, he believed that African Americans had dark skin because they were fence sitters in heaven.
That's what I
Well,
was
isn't
told.
that what the truth is?
That's what I was told. I didn't
A
believe
true
it, but that's what I
prophet
was
of
told.
God taught us that.
Yeah.
Oh, I was told all kinds of rumors and things that
So
David
interestingly,
McKay and others had gone back to Adam-on-Diamond and met with Jesus Christ already. This is 67, 68, 69. Oh, Bill Cosby and some blacks were going to picket the LA Temple. And that's why they put the fence up. If you go to the LA Temple now, there's a fence, the black fence in front. That was put up the next week because the rumor was going around that Bill Cosby and all the black actors were going to come and protest the temple.
so now the Mormons would take the fence down if they knew what they know about Bill Cosby.
Yeah, they'd say, come on
Right.
in.
So come on
They'd
in.
say, visitors welcome
Yeah.
So what were you going to say about me,
to our
Gene?
children.
So what were you going to say about me? I was so Mormon that what?
Me? What, you talking to me?
No, Gene. Gene was going to say something.
Yeah, I was going to say another thing, but it'll come to me again because we're old.
Well,
And
I was so
I know what it
Mormon.
was. It
Oh,
has
go
to
ahead.
do with the revelation on the priesthood. Where were you, Tim, when it happened?
I was at work.
You were at work.
I
Randy
was at
was
work.
getting ready to go on his mission.
I was at Mesa Community College studying Spanish.
Yeah.
Okay.
And 6 months later, you were in Spain,
Yep.
or 7 or 8 months later, whatever.
Just a short time.
And so here's what I was going to say is, so once the revelation happened, I dialed down all that other stuff, right? and didn't worry about whether they were fence sitters in heaven or anything. It just that was all in the past, right? So 30 years later, my son comes home from his mission to Brazil, and he has a secret. They were sharing around the mission, somebody who did sort of like a revelation or a talk from the 50s or 60s that talked about the blacks being fence sitters. And so like that was the truth, is what they were saying, that this thing being passed around was like, this is the real truth. But like God is letting them have the priesthood now just so that the world can be happier with Mormonism, right? It was just like,
Wow.
we're going to pretend to give the blacks the priesthood, but really they don't deserve it because of, could have been something from, Brigham Young or somebody, right? And so I told him that, gee, that is all so old that it's one of those things that can't be true. But it sort of goes to the point that there's some things that are deep doctrine that makes Mormons feel that they have special knowledge of something that even other Mormons don't know. So we were talking about special knowledge about Christ being born on April 6th. And so when you're Mormon, if you know a secret, right, then you're extra Mormon.
Right.
Speaking of secrets, Joe is in the comments now.
Yeah.
And Joe is a much truer prophet than the prophets that we heretofore have met, because Joe is real. And he is the living prophet of the Church of Korihor.
Poor
And
horror.
I saw him on the Snark channel last night. So good job, Joe.
Good job, Joe.
And come on in if you'd like.
I was so Mormon that I've spent the better part of my childhood doing microfiche, and we've got our genealogy back to the 1300s.
Wow.
That's
Hours and
pretty Mormon.
hours of microfiche.
Oh, wow.
I always remember some people saying, oh yeah, my grandmother did our genealogy and it goes all the way back to Adam. It's like, that's impossible.
No.
Well, if you tie into a king, they
Well,
can tie back to Adam. It's not accurate, and I mean,
Right.
honestly, but that's what people believe.
from the parish records, it appears, Liberton is a town southwest of Edinburgh in Scotland, mainly a lot of Scottish and Irish Libertons, very small clan. But it appears part of the clan was the love relationship of a king that was kept outside of the village. And so we weren't the approved marriage, but we were the approved relationship. So I kind of thought, reading all this little stuff, I thought that was kind of cool. It's like we're the little side piece they wanted
That's cool.
on this little
Right,
branch.
right on.
So who cares, bloodline, but, we don't need the name. We kind of have the blood.
We all have a bastard somewhere in our genealogy.
But it was fun. I loved it. I mean, yeah. If it all had been true, it would have
Wow.
been really interesting. But
Yeah.
Kim, did you go through the temple?
yes, I
What ye-
I went through
What
the
year?
temple.
What year?
19 in San Diego in 1997.
Okay. So Gene, Randy, and Tim each went to the temple, and we promised that we would slit our throats, cut our heart out, and disembowel ourselves rather than tell the secrets of the temple.
That's right. Rather than do so, I would suffer
I had to bail
My
my
life.
case.
And
And now we
taken.
would just rather tell
Rather
the
than do
secret.
so, I would suffer my lie to be taken. Yeah.
Look at Randy has a peace pipe.
how do I look? I know RFM has his cigarette. Doesn't Ron Jorgensen do a pipe though?
He does.
Yes.
Ron Yorkson does a pipe.
Ron does a
One
pipe.
time he didn't have his real pipe, and he found a toy bubble pipe that he used on the pipe.
Yeah,
Well, I won't take Ron's gig then. But
you
it's
can
here,
do it.
and I'm thinking
It's
of
your
loading it
gig.
up and smoking a pipe.
No,
I've got one. I was Mormon enough that I still got baptized when the baptismal font broke down.
what?
What?
How did they do that?
They
Swimming
scheduled
Holy
it.
water.
They took me over to the bishop's house that had a swimming pool.
Okay.
Yeah. And not only did I get baptized, that it became the story in the whole San Diego County, because everybody knew about someone that got baptized at the bishop swimming pool. Not only was it myself, but two of the kids I used to coach on the swim team, and the gentleman that baptized me was a gentleman that was having a hard time swimming one day at the pool that I used to coach at, and I taught him how to swim properly.
Cool.
And
Wow.
yeah, so I got baptized in a swimming pool because the font broke down.
You may have saved a life or two.
Here, we also were
Temple
so Mormon.
baptisms were at Mesa, though, because we didn't have a Denver temple yet. So we'd road trip down to Mesa. So that my first temple was in Mesa for
baptism
baptisms.
for the dead.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yep.
We all knew that if you were getting baptized, that if one of your hairs stayed on the top of the water, it didn't count.
Right.
That's how Mormon we were.
Yeah.
Pretty
And
freaking.
same with the
So you
sacrament
always
prayer.
had to wet down the girl's hair before you baptized him, make sure it was wet.
Or even the toe stick out. You
The
know,
toe stick wet.
Oh, right.
I'm
and
so
if the toe
Mormon
sticks
that-
out, you gotta tell them to bend their knees.
I always figured, well, how much of a sinner could your toe be, right? That it would need to be, that it would need to go under. What would you have to do with your toe in order for it to be necessary to be cleansed?
I've
Right.
seen
Toe
movies.
sex.
Yeah. Okay, Kim. Go.
Never mind.
Go
It
ahead.
can
You've
be a
seen
sinful
movies.
toe.
Oh. Oh. Okay.
Never mind.
I need a jacket.
As long as we weren't talking about dromedary's toes.
So Mormon.
My patriarchal blessing
No,
was
I'm so
half
Mormon
a
that
page,
I thought you're supposed to get baptized at 8, right? I've been a part
right?
of that
Yeah.
church since I was 3 years old. No,
Right.
I'm so Mormon. I found out the hard way. I had to wait till I was 9 and have missionary lessons because my mom wasn't a member. I wasn't born under the covenant. So yeah, I had to wait. So I chose
That's
that.
My
something I never got was
mother,
patriarchal blessing.
my mother was 7 when she was baptized. She wasn't quite 8 yet.
Oh,
Well, that doesn't count then, and you need to call your mother and let her know.
she's got
Yeah.
some time
give me-
awarded to her of that free
Well,
instance.
see,
You know.
Grandpa was the bishop, and they didn't have a font in Kemmer, Wyoming, so they were at Cokeville or Rock. What is it? Rock Springs for a conference, and some apostle was there, and Grandpa asked him, and he said it was okay.
Grandpa was the bishop, but he didn't have a font.
So Hallie thought that she was going to die early because her patriarchal blessing was only half a page. So her life wasn't very eventful.
Half
or
a
she was gonna
page,
die
Hallie?
early.
Oh,
So that is
Half
so
a-
sad.
Well, no big deal. I got a matriarchal blessing a couple of weeks ago.
Oh,
Awesome.
that's right. That's
Oh,
right.
nice. I can
From,
take that, by the way.
Oh.
Megan and
Okay.
Yani ni pani mani yani hani. I had a testimony of the Jesus Christ as taught to me by the LDS Church. Now that I'm no longer a believer in the LDS Church, my relationship with Christ quadrupled, because I know there's a lot of post-Mormons who choose to, well, I mean, you have to believe what you believe. I believe that if Christ exists, he's all about love. He's all about charity. He's all about mercy. And I don't think he gives a rat's ass if you do your home teaching or if you know the handshakes in the temple.
Or if you're a boy and attracted to other boys.
I think he's just fine with that. I think
Yeah.
that I think that with him, it's all about love between man, women, men, men, women, women. I just think that Christ is all about love. And that's what he talks about all throughout the Bible. I don't think I ever remember them talking about, how's your sacrament meeting attendance? Hopefully you're not touching yourself, and hopefully you're staying away from the opposite sex until you're on your mission. Then you can start dating, as the prophet has told us.
That's right.
I just think that Christ was a cool individual who accepted people, who loved people, and tried to bring them into his fold without fear, but with love.
Yep. Yep.
And
Yeah.
when Tim was young and he played kickball with Jesus, Tim actually called him Yeshua of Nazareth.
That's right. Yeshua Bar Joseph. Yeah.
So I feel more Christian, not believing in the certain Mormon-y things. I feel that, I also feel that there probably was a lot of mythology around a person 2,000 years ago. Just like even 300 or 400 years ago, there was a lot of mythology around some guy named Paul.
Yeah.
What's his name? He wrestled with his ox named Babe, and it created the
Paul
the
Bunyan.
mountains. Paul
The
Bunyan.
Paul
mountains.
Bunyan.
Just like
Oh,
Paul Bunyan was created out of apparently some really good French Canadian axe wielding person. That they
Logger.
just made up stories just to say,
Lumberjack. A lumberjack.
lumberjack. Paul is such a great lumberjack. He probably could do this or that or the other. It's like, oh yeah, Jesus is so good he can walk on water. Oh yeah, my Jesus is so good he could turn water into wine. And then Joseph Smith turned wine right back into water.
I thought you were talking about the other Paul, as in Peter, Paul, and Mary.
Oh, that Paul.
No, so we mythologize lots of people. We've mythologized Joseph Smith. We've mythologized George
Yep.
Washington. We've mythologized Abraham Lincoln.
And Lincoln.
Those are in some of our grandparents have relatives that were of age to know Abraham Lincoln, and maybe their grandparents were of age to know or know of and be contemporaries with George Washington. And yet 10 times farther back in time is somebody that's has the attention of a lot of people on the earth, but it's not more than the Hindus, and it's not more than the other religions. But anyhow,
I was so Mormon that when I'd go to any function on the temple grounds and they'd have the anti-Mormon guys standing there with posters and all kinds of literature and stuff, I was so Mormon, I wouldn't even look their direction. And I would want to engage and get in a fight with them. Little did I know that I'd be batting for that team these days.
I'm so Mormon, I was excommunicated and worked my way back to being rebaptized.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, that's
you repented.
very
That's
Mormon-esque.
very, very Mormon. Very,
Yep.
very Mormon.
See, I was never Mormon enough to repent. I just was like, sorry, but I'm not repenting.
Well, when they kicked me out, there was no going back.
Right.
I'm
I
still a
didn't
member
even
of record
consider
now.
it.
It's kind of weird.
That's strange. Strange. Now, the worst I ever saw was some guy with a sign outside the LA temple that said, "You're going to the Temple of Doom," or whatever. He'd stand there outside the gate with a sign.
Ooh.
Let me
And
make
what's
that big,
Randy's?
Randy.
What is that, Randy? We can't
You're
hear
you're
you. You're
you're muted.
muted. You're
Are those
muted.
are those small
You're muted.
small golden plates? Randy, we can't hear you.
You're muted, Randy.
Oh, crap.
Randy.
That was, sorry, that was one of Amanda's projects. She works with acrylics and she does three-dimensional, like Christmas hanging things and all these creative, amazing looking decorations. And I was just showing her skills off.
Oh,
Cool.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Cool.
we're sort of like a show and tell.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
It was all show though,
Yeah.
because we weren't hearing
Yeah.
you.
She didn't know that I was going to show and tell her goods, but
And then she caught you.
yeah, she got me.
Oh, that's very pretty. It's very pretty.
Hey,
Gorgeous.
I'm kind of a one-man show here. Why don't you
Oh yeah, we have other people.
take me back down to reality?
It's so nice to see
We were hiding.
all of Randy.
Doggone it.
Peekaboo.
We could do Randy big and make him take over the show, and we can all go get snacks and then come back in 10 minutes.
I
Yeah.
have my chicken chips, my chips that are made out of chicken, and my spinach dip waiting for me for after the show.
Cool.
So
I
I'm
have
in that holding
pinwheels.
period. But if you want to all go get snacks, you're welcome to do that.
Okay.
So if any of us had been Tim's age and grew up in Utah, we would have been so Mormon that Joseph Smithmas would have been more important than Christmas. Did you know of anybody, Tim, that where Joseph Smith's birthday was a bigger deal than Christ's?
No,
Because I understand some people would do that, but
I
I know
don't.
people that got married on their Joseph Smith's birthday.
on purpose.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's precious right there.
My dad and stepmom, very Mormon.
I never even thought about it until I was on my mission when I figured out when Joseph was born, and I thought, oh, that's interesting.
Tim was so Mormon, he went to Germany to spread the gospel.
Yeah, I
Randy
was
was
so Mormon, I went on a mission. Yeah,
He went to Spain.
yeah,
Yeah, we were European, weren't we?
that's right. We were continental.
I was thinking I was holding off until Russia opened.
Aha.
That's what I was thinking, that I was being saved for Russia.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know when Russia opened, but I think I was married by then.
I'm still waiting for a worthy priesthood holder.
Really? You'll be waiting a long
I
time for
know I'm
that.
single by choice.
Well, I'm so Mormon that I took my girlfriend to the Mesa Temple and proposed to her on the temple grounds.
There you go.
That is so freaking Mormon. It's like a cupcake
It
with too much
is.
frosting.
I did that at the Provo Temple.
I did
Did
that
you?
with a girlfriend. I proposed to her in Temple Square. We broke up, but
Well, see, I broke
I-
up with my first wife too, so must be that temple thing.
I
How are
was
you and
in
Michelle doing, Gene?
We've broken up like 1,000 times, and then
Oh,
a
okay.
couple hours later, we're back together.
okay.
When I was
The church.
I was inactive and I was visiting Temple Square with my boyfriend, later husband. We went through where you were watching the wax video, the wax people, the prophets, and all this talking. And I could feel this warmth, and it wasn't coming from me. we get back home and my stepmom goes, "What are you going to do when he joins the church?" And I'm like, "Bite your tongue." And he did. So I guess I'm so Mormon, I convert families.
Um, we, I don't think Kinder Kim and Jules were born in the church, but Randy and Gene and myself, they didn't open Russia till 91, Gene. So
Yeah, so I was already had
you're already
3
married.
kids.
So you want to know if anybody's looked into the Gnostic teachings of Jesus? Do you mean the Gospel of Thomas and the book, the Nag Hammadi Library? Is that what you're talking about? Yes, I have. In fact, the Gospel of Thomas is probably my favorite Jesus sayings gospel. Okay.
Tim, you are very well read.
Thank you. I do my
Tell
best.
us a new saying that we haven't heard of before. It
Oh,
doesn't have to be an
geez.
exact quote. It could just be from your memory.
No,
Like
I'd
did
have to look
Jesus
it up.
say, "Verily I say unto you, boil your water for long
Hang
life."
on. Hang on. Oh, there's some really good sayings in it.
Is one of the teachings read at night, sailor's delight, read in the morning, sailor's warning?
No.
I thought that was scripture.
I know, right?
Okay, one of the sayings would be, and he said, whoever finds the interpretation of these sayings will not experience death. Or let him who seeks continue seeking until he finds. When he finds, he will become troubled. When he becomes troubled, he will be astonished, and he will rule over the all. The Gospel of Thomas is about manifestation. This is what it's about. Blessed is the lion which becomes man, which is consumed by man, and cursed is the man whom the lion consumes, and the lion becomes man. There's a bunch of them. There's a 70, I can't remember how many sayings.
And what are those from?
114 sayings. The Gospel of Thomas is 114 sayings. The Gospel of Thomas. It's available online.
Tim, you remind me of something. When I was going to community college, there was a teacher who had lectured at Berkeley, and I think he got his degree at Berkeley, and so we thought he was a good teacher. But anyway, he was kind of disheveled and overweight. Maybe he was a returning adult student or something like that, and sort of balding. But he said that he wanted the style of our papers to make a one-word claim about something, like what is the book of Genesis about, right? Or the first chapter of Genesis, or whatever it was. And we had to use one word, and then we had to defend it. And I can't remember what my one word is now, but in defending it, whatever my word was, or maybe I didn't have to, maybe it wasn't one word, but maybe one thought. But I said, God is both male and female.
Right.
And then I defended it by saying, it says right here, we will create man in our own image, male and female created we them, or whatever, however it says it.
Yes.
And so to me, I was saying Mormon-y stuff because we believe men and women are gods together. And that if like Jesus said, you have to be one at heart, one of mind in order to follow. And so he says that God and him are like one, right? And so that's how a mother and a father, parents, a husband and a wife are supposed to be like one. They're supposed to be united. And so the Mormon God is both male and female because it's a mother in heaven and a father in heaven. But I didn't really realize at the time it was, maybe a million mothers. I probably did. But anyway. So that was reminded me.
Want to go on?
She asked about,
we have a thought we want to say, and then we can't remember it. And then it comes back like 12 minutes later.
You got it?
Mhm.
Okay.
Gene and I interviewed someone recently who taught us that the priesthood ban on blacks is still recognized by the FLDS sect and
Right.
other Mormon religions that are not Latter-day Saint.
Fundamentalists.
Correct. Yes, that's true.
That just blows me away that in this day and age, that could even
Fact.
be a thing.
Well, because they believe up until Wilford Woodruff.
Right.
Everybody after Wolf, they don't acknowledge.
In fact, the person we interviewed, his name is Moroni Jessup, and he said he got excommunicated from the fundamentalists because he didn't believe in that teaching. He didn't believe that blacks should be discriminated against or other people as well. So anyhow, good for him. That's coming later this week sometime. What other fundamentalist things as Mormons did we believe in? Well, I guess that's something. As Mormons, we did you believe that God
We
had
believed that we were going to
Why-
all go back to Missouri. That that all the
We
priests were
believe
going
that
to be gathered to Missouri.
somewhere in the middle of Missouri was where the Garden of Eden was.
Yeah, the Garden of Eden was in
Adamant.
Missouri. Adam
And
on
you know
down.
what? Every time we had lessons about Noah and the ark, my mind
Right.
only thought that Noah left from somewhere in the Middle East and then returned to somewhere in the Middle East. I never thought that he started in Missouri and ended up in the Middle East.
Right.
Well, there's not a beach in Missouri, so your mind doesn't even go to that
Well,
because
he built a boat in the middle of nowhere near
Right.
water. That's why the people thought he was crazy. Well, the whole
Maybe that's
thing's
why his
made up
name was
anyway.
Noah, like nowhere.
Noah
No,
was a drunk.
I think that's
Yes,
made
he
up.
was.
I think
You're
that's just
right.
a story because there
Yes,
is
and
no
according
way
to the
in
Bible,
hell
he was a.
that
Yeah,
Lots
they
of
could
he was a
fit
reasons they
drunk.
didn't
every
believe him.
There was something you were saying early. Oh, Gene, what was it? Doggone
It'll come to you 12 minutes from now.
like there was 6 of each animal. Is that what you're gonna say? Hi, Joe man.
I do, man.
What
it.
broke?
Hey, Korhor. Hey,
I
Korhor.
hit
It's my
my
favorite chapter in the
ball
Book of
because
Mormon.
Joe came
Korihor.
on the screen.
What,
It's
Gene?
now the first chapter of the Korihor canon.
Is
My
the Korhor
favorite.
argument?
Now I know why.
It's the martyrdom of Korihor. The Korihor argument I can get you a copy of. I have like 1 billion of them. I'm
It's like
the
it
only
called to
customer.
me
Is that
Bring
what
him
part of
to
the auction
while I
is
was
going to be?
active. It called to me to
Bring-
bring me here. That's why it was my favorite. I think.
bring him
I
to
agree.
Thrive.
Same. What's that? What'd you say? Oh,
Are you
bring
going
him
to
to
give
Thrive?
away?
Bring
Are
him
you
to
going to
Thrive.
auction your books off at Thrive?
Yeah, auction your
I
books off
should
at
bring some
Thrive.
books to Thrive.
That's
Yeah, maybe I
right.
will.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
should
Maybe
have a signing
Yeah.
table.
I'm not going to have time to do a signing. I'm going to be so busy. So we're doing a canonization event at the same time. We're announcing some big changes at the Church of Korihor and some of the direction that we're going in 2026. It's
Did
very
you say
exciting.
announcing or renouncing?
Announcing. We haven't
Okay.
renounced anything or anyone as of yet. Other than cults and God. Other than that, we're very peaceful people. We don't need to be pissing anybody off.
Okay. Cool.
But speaking of renouncing, I'm going to do another episode of Charlatans Never Change tomorrow, where I'm going to be exposing somebody yet. I've narrowed it down to 2 people I really got to do in the next couple of weeks. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
All right. Sounds good. Sounds good.
I kind of
I'll
hope
be
it's
there.
not any of
Say
us.
goodnight to Janine.
Bye, Janine. Take care.
Hi, Janine.
No, but I'll say this: I keep going after bigger and bigger fish. I'll say that much. After my takedown of Kai Schwemmer, I realized I'm down to picking fights with very little fish in this pond. It was just too much. It just pissed me off too much. That whole 88 thing. I'm
Oh,
like,
it would have
no,
pissed me off too.
I will not have it. I will not have it, sirs. Because he's up here. I don't know if you guys know this. Up here in Utah, he's campaigning with the gay man. He just happens to be gay. Who the Trump I'm just going to say it this way: the Trump administration sends out to try and affect political change, and
But
they're trying to get this proposition overturned here in Utah that was passed by the voters to allow for more fair districting of our congressional maps. And the church is like, no, 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 no. And then the MAGAs are like, no, 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 no. And this kid, Kai Schwimmer, who frankly is a confirmed, I mean, do I need to say what he is? Maybe I shouldn't on your life. But
What
What does
he?
it rhyme with?
it
Say it.
rhymes with Yahtzee.
Oh
He's a
yeah,
Nazi.
we know.
He's a
We
Nazi.
know he is. But
Okay.
is he gay? Did you say he was gay?
No, the activists that they sent to like Pennsylvania and to
Oh,
the guy
okay.
that Elon Musk gave like what was it, like $1 million or like $100 million
Oh,
or
not
something to try and flip Pennsylvania.
Okay.
I forget the guy's name off the top of my head, but
Yeah.
he's running campaigns up here trying to muster up all the conservatives, all the MAGAs in Utah into voting, into getting onto the ballot in the next couple of years, a measure to overturn the voice of the people and say no. The basically the church. Nobody's saying it that way. I'm saying it that way. So basically, the church can draw the congressional maps rather than the voters. The people actually freaking live here, and so yeah, it's only because we have judges. Surprisingly, here in Utah, we have some of the best judges, frankly, in the country. It's because of the judges in Utah that now gay marriage is considered constitutionally protected. Right? It's because of judges here. That progressive change is happening in terms of voter districting, congressional districting. And it's like these judges, they're a check in the system to go back and say, okay, we understand how powerful people in the state feel about this, but the voters say this, the Constitution of the United States says this, Constitution of Utah says this, so that's the way it is. And we got to keep those people. We got to keep those people around. So yeah.
I wonder if he's
Joe, you're
related to
prophetic.
Benji Schwimmer, the
Kite.
pro dancer that
No,
he
no,
and
no.
his sister
No.
Dancing with the Stars. Then he
Don't
left
try
the
to
church
connect
'cause
any
he's
words
gay.
that Joe says with anything that's in your brain. Just let Joe say it. Benji Schwimmer is probably not related to Kai Schwimmer.
I don't know.
don't even know
Kai
if his
is
names are spelled the same.
Schwemmer. I think Kai
He
is
might
Schwemmer,
be.
not Schwimmer.
Schwimmer. Yeah. Well,
I don't
So
know
anyway,
what
Mike
their
our
sound the
subject,
same.
opinion is.
Joe, is how Mormon were you?
Yeah, so
Oh.
I was
So
gonna,
we want to give you the opportunity to answer that question. Just how Mormon were you?
Oh my gosh. Okay. And when I radicalized, like I was like a Peter Priesthood kid, but I radicalized to the point where my mission president pulled me back, clawed me back on my mission. When I was a missionary, I looked for purpose. When I started to realize, when I was out in the field and realizing, I don't think I believe any of this. I overreacted, right? I overcorrected and went full missionary. I just got to show the Lord I am all about keeping his commandments and call these people to repentance. And I had a convert I was working on, and I very passionately told him after this is in the Amazon. I want to say, yeah, this is in the Amazon. I had this young man who was looking for work. He couldn't find it until finally he found a job that required him to work on Sundays. And I gave to him the challenge, and I said, I want to tell you something. I said, Satan has put this opportunity into your life, not the Lord, because the Lord wouldn't give you a job where you worked on Sunday. And I said, so you need to show your faith. This is the challenge. You need to show your faith. He's like, do you know how hard it is to get a job here? He's like, do you understand that? And I'm like, I don't. Yeah, I'm like, I'm telling you, the Lord will bless you 100-fold. He will get you a better job. He will get you a better life. He will help you set you up for something much better in life. If you go to your employer and say, "I refuse to work on Sundays," and the next thing I knew, my companion had tattled on me to my zone leader. My zone leader had gone to zone leader conference with with the mission president, President Benitez, who is a very good man, Belisario Benitez, and he said, "You tell him I said no missionary, no missionary in this mission should tell anybody who's fortunate enough to find a job to quit that job for any reason." He's like, "That's ludicrous. You tell Elder Rollins I said that." I'm glad he did. And that really, man, that corrected me.
Yeah.
Did he Wow. quit his job?
No, he kept the job. He quit taking the discussions. And you know what? Good for him. Good for
Yeah,
him.
right.
Because
Good
that
for
guy,
him.
Elder Rollins, what an asshole. I mean, seriously,
Didn't-
what a dick.
Didn't Elder Rollins try to cast the devil out of a house or something like that?
Out of a person.
Out of a
And
person.
I can't prove or disprove that he had a devil in him, but I can tell you that when I was done, he didn't.
Yeah.
I did the same kind of sort of thing. I've told the story before. We were in the top floor of an apartment building, and the husband and wife and son and daughter-in-law, okay? And the father was a preacher, and he was down in the basement getting something. But we were talking to the women and the guy, and my companion, Elder Carol, kept pushing on this guy. They were yelling back and forth. I literally raised my arm to the square, and I said in English, "In the name of Jesus Christ, I command you to depart." And he left, okay? And then it was just the two women, and it calmed down. And I said, and they're German, they don't understand English, okay? And then we're talking, and I could feel the spirit change and the elevator come up. And when the guy comes up the elevator, he gets out and he sees what's going on, and he starts yelling and screaming. The son comes out and yells and screams. They all go into the apartment. They shut the door, and Elder Carroll's yelling through the door jamb, and I grabbed him. I had to literally pull him away from the door jamb, and we went back to the apartment that night and studied and read scriptures. It was, we had P Day, and I says, "You know what? You have the spirit of contention. We're not going out tonight anymore. You need to get right with God. You need to pray and study and read and think. Okay, this is what we're going to do."
Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow. I mean, Randy, didn't you say that in Spain you had Satanists after you? You were part of that
We had a
mission.
full-blown true blue exorcism that my companion and I did. And yeah, it was like movie stuff. She's clawing at the walls and digging into the sheetrock and moaning and groaning with a voice that could not have come out of her. And we just did what we had to do. And I think we were blessed with, thinking in Spanish all of a sudden, a calmness to let us get through that. Because when we walked out of the building, we both started shaking and we're like, holy crap, did that just happen?
Wow.
But yeah. I mean, people can think what they like about the spirits, about life after this. But I'll tell you, if anyone doubts that there is truly evil in this world, I need to chat with them for a few hours, because evil exists and it's very palpable. Like Joe just said, you can feel it, or like Tim just said, you could feel it. You can feel it coming up the elevator. You can.
Yeah, I could
It's
feel it.
a little spooky.
I knew it was changing, and
Right.
I knew at that point it was over. I mean, when the guy came out of the elevator and started yelling and screaming, and I had to hold Elder Carol, and I just, there was no way we could go on that night. There was no way that we could do anything else, you know. And when I told our leaders about it, they said, you did the right thing, man, because we don't need that at all. Yeah.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
I
Ain't
just,
nobody got time for that.
I was so upset at him, you know, and he was the kind of elder guy who thought Mormons were superior to everybody else. And I said, you're so full of shit. I said, we're all equal. Nobody's better than anybody else. You might be smarter, you might be more intelligent, but you know better than anybody else here. And
Here's the thing.
If a destitute family is faced with the decision of paying their tithing or eating, they should pay their tithing.
Yeah.
Thought I'd throw that in there.
Okay. What were you going to say, Joe?
It's an interesting thing I think doesn't ever get enough attention is the mystery of the swearing missionary. Because just like you were saying, I don't know if you were saying that you literally told your companion that he was full of shit.
I did. I told him he was full of shit. That's what I said to him.
Here's an interesting thing. I felt a lot better when I listened to my grandfather made some tapes for his daughter, my aunt who was serving a mission, about his experiences on his mission in the southern states. And he said, and he was swearing all throughout that thing. And he was, my grandpa was a farmer and apparently a rocket scientist, but he was we weren't allowed to know that because it was a defense contractor job, so you weren't supposed to talk about it.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, and he worked for Morton Thiokol. Anyway, but he says that he took his companion one day, and his companion was just rude to him, and he said, "Listen to me." He said some boy from like Idaho or something. He said, "Listen, I don't know how they do things where you're from, but you give me any more of this lip, I will take you out to the edge of town. I will beat the shit out of you until nobody can fucking recognize you." I was like, "Whoa, Grandpa Lynn."
Nice.
Oh, I had a great uncle who was a farmer, and they made tapes of him, and we were listening to them one time, and I heard swearing, but man, when I listened to those tapes when my uncle's house, I'm going, "What, Uncle Joe? What?
Isn't it interesting how we have this distorted perspective of history that's been taught to us by our traditions, right? Because like I remember I was talking to my father-in-law one time, and he said to me, so he said, you took a course, because in college I took a course on Westerns, and when I was in film school. And I'm like, I didn't even like Westerns until I took that course. And now I love Westerns. And he's like, what's your favorite of all Westerns? I was like, I like The Searchers. I like My Darling Clementine.
That's the best one. Yeah.
I said, but I gotta be honest with you. I mean, maybe I'm showing, my bias here, but I'm a big fan of Tombstone. And he looks at me and he goes, I can't believe that. And I'm like, you don't like Tombstone? Of all things, Tombstone's the one you can't. He's like, the amount of swearing in that film? And I was like, what's about the West, guy? And he's like, back then, people didn't swear.
That's right.
Not like this. And I'm like, I don't think that's true, guy. I don't think that's true. I'm like, I understand how Louis L'Amour will sell it to you, maybe, but even he will haul off with a curse word here and there. I mean, they swore.
If they were out on the plains, everything went. But when they came into town, they behaved a little better.
Oh,
whenever Louis L'Amour was in town, they behaved.
Not that they didn't swear like that, but they presented themselves from what.
And Joe,
from what I understand,
did you ever read those Louis L'Amour novels? I like them.
I've read a couple of them. Yeah,
I like them.
They're
Joe,
okay.
the person who said they're gonna beat the shit out of somebody.
Yeah,
that's Mormon too, because we believe in the laying on of hands.
I knew you were gonna say
Grandpa
that.
Lynn believed in the laying on of hands. His name was Lindsay. Lindsay Rollins is the man for whom I'm named. He's the boy named Sue for whom I'm named. Joseph Lindsay Rollins.
I think one of the funnest Mormon things I did was when I'd always feed the missionaries every week. And
So you're saying you're fed the missionaries when some people say when you're having the missionaries for dinner, they think you might be a cannibal.
yeah, no, we actually fed them. But I would always like, I'd do Super Bowl Sunday and time it where they'd be over at halftime. I'd do all kinds of fun dinners. They came over and I was watching the movie Ghost. And so I handed them the remote and we paused the movie every single time there was a gospel doctrine. So we explored the whole movie based on gospel doctrine. There's a lot of missionaries that probably have stories about
Okay,
some
yeah,
of the
I was
things.
so Mormon on my mission when East Germany played West Germany for the World Cup. That the three of the four elders, I stayed upstairs studying, where the other three went down and watched the World Cup on the TV.
That was nice of you.
Yeah.
I remember in 1999, before going on my mission, I bore my testimony. I said it's going to be unconventional. Even back then, I was sort of apostate. I said, I want to tell you, bear my testimony, and it's going to be a little bit weird. Just be ready for it. But I know that Steven Spielberg is inspired by God since I saw Saving Private Ryan. And I know that I shouldn't be talking about this at church, but I'm telling you, you watch that film and you know that the hand of God is on this blessed
Okay,
country.
right. And there are two R-rated movies in Utah that are okay to see, right? Schindler's List and Saving Private Ryan are the two movies the church kind of approves tacitly that members can go see, right?
No
Right, Joe?
Titanic. Come on, throw that one in there. Too.
Titanic isn't R-rated.
I was
Titanic's
against
R-rated.
Titanic.
It
Yeah,
is?
it's already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Really?
and here's
Naughty,
They took
naughty,
care of it.
naughty.
They edited it. You can
It wasn't
watch the
R-rated
edited
when I
version.
saw it.
I think they had a
so
TV.
they might
edit.
have shown the unedited, the edited one. So anyway, between the five of us, I want everybody to know, five, and Randy's dad, we've all combined to donate millions of dollars to the church, right, Randy?
That is correct. Yes.
So we needed Randy dad for that. But what we didn't know when we were donating money was this.
The Lord does not need your money.
That's what we never
Fucking
crossed
give
our mind.
It back. Give it back, dude.
Please give it back. And if
never
they
crossed
could
our mind.
return my
Randy
dad's
his
tithing, I'd
family's money
really
back.
appreciate that.
So anyhow,
Man.
I'm going to say we're an hour and a half in. Joe
Yeah.
is going to do something in southern Utah in St. George on the 22nd or something like that.
How did you hear about that?
I'm part of the.
Pay attention.
Oh, you mean with the Church of Korihor? Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Thrive is going to happen. So Tim and I and Joe are going to be at Thrive.
Awesome.
Randy is just going to have to be blue with envy.
You know,
I'm
I
going to
might
bring
get
a
there
Thrive
in
up here to
20
northern Minnesota. You guys just watch.
Yeah.
We will
It could
bring
be
a
called
Thrive up here.
the Ice Thrive, you could call
Yep.
it.
Ice Thrive.
We know how to take care of that.
That's cool. That'd be fun. That'd be interesting to see.
That's what I'm working on.
Thrive is the 20th through 22nd here in St. George, Thrive St. George of February. After it closes at noon. We're going to be going live on Megan and Kirsten's channel, which is either Kirsten and Megan or Megan and Kirsten. I forget what they call it, but yeah, you guys are the one.
Mhm.
And
Snark is the brand name
The
for
snark.
right, the Snark.
Exmo Snark.
And we will be doing the canonization event. We will be showing the artwork. The artwork you see behind me is going into the auction. We have this silent auction that will benefit victims and survivors of domestic violence in southern Utah, particularly in Colorado City. This is a community that's been absolutely devastated by fundamentalist Mormonism, as you all know. And especially these women and their children, are trying to get their lives put back together, try to get on with their lives, try to get out the hell out of out of Hilldale, and they're going. And we've already been bringing them blankets, hygiene kits, which are badly needed. And lots of items that, by the way, I'm surprised to find more and more surprised to find people are excited when they learn this. So I'm just going to say it every chance I get. When you go to korahor.org and you click on the give button, we have an Amazon list. I told my sister when she came up with this idea that it was, maybe it is PG-13. They have a rated R version. I think they probably have a rated R version. Anyways, all I know is you take Kate Winslet's boob out of it and it changes the whole rating. Anyway, which is weird because that after that there's this whole scene where all these people die in the water as the ship sinks. Spoiler alert! Spoiler.
But there's no blood. There's no blood and guts.
Which is which may be accurate. I mean, blood coagulates in the cold, but anyway. But now people have, a lot of people don't feel comfortable giving money to a church, especially after leaving another church. I get it. I get that. We do need money more than anything else, but the work, it costs money. And so I find that if I tell people, you can't just go to our Amazon list and buy items that get shipped to us, and then we just take those items straight out to the people who need them, and all of a sudden people are very excited about it. So go and buy the items. Trust me, we're not taking any of this for ourselves here. This is all going to the work.
It's such an irony that the Church of Korahor is 100 times more charitable and giving than the LDS Church. Who claims to be the one and only true Church of Jesus Christ upon the face of the earth.
They just want to hoard their gold.
Yeah, exactly. And then Joe comes along, and what is it about? It's about helping others. It's about loving your fellow man. And that's very cool, Joe. So kudos to you.
Thank you. And for me, it's about escaping nihilism. They'll say this, of all the criticism of atheists, particularly, and not everybody involved in the Church of Korahor does identify as atheist. I say we are godless people, but that's true about all people, in my opinion. But here's the thing: nihilism really does destroy people's lives, and it drives people to escape this world early, shall we say, whatever that is. And we see it in the community all the time, especially when you go from high demand religion, we'll say it that way, because apparently the word cult frightens people. When you go from that to nihilism in one jump, it can be a very dark and a very scary time for all of us. And so for me, being able to put yourself outside of your ego, to let your ego dissolve, whether that's through meditation or through acts of service, or even just by learning to take a break from to step away from a position of power or privilege, whatever that is for you, to help you deconstruct, it's perhaps the most important thing you can do at this stage in your life. And for me, what's wonderful about service is that it's so easy compared to, believe it or not, compared to meditation, which I do all the time. I find the easiest thing is to go out there and give a blanket to a person who is cold. And it's amazing the spiritual, the spiritual refinement you get out of it. And you tell me an atheist doesn't know what spirituality is, I can tell you 1,000 times you don't know what you're talking about. You know what I mean? And people try to tell me all the time. Believe me.
I'm sure.
So yeah, it's a beautiful. But the event, February 22nd, starting at noon, we're going to have our canonization event, and then Megan Connor is going to give us a special song and spoken word performance that she's prepared for us. So we've got the Eventbrite organized. We just don't have it published anywhere where people can see it, but the RSVP to go to be there is free. We just ask people if you're going to RSVP, it's because you're going to show up, so we make sure we have enough refreshments and stuff. And then the silent auction will be there, and people will be able to purchase prints of art or even place a bid for some original art, not just mine. And the proceeds go to benefit these women who are victims of domestic violence. So
What
it's
about
exciting.
hallucinogenics? Will there be any of those for
We'll talk.
refreshments?
BYOH.
In the auction?
BYOH.
Bring your own
your own-
hallucinogenics.
I won't throw you out. If you're on shrooms, Randy, I won't throw you out. If you don't have
Thank you.
shrooms, we'll hook you. I mean,
So
we'll see what
we'll
happens.
say thanks everybody for watching.
Thank you, everybody.
Watch Momo No Mo. Watch Ladder Daily Digest. Watch
Church
Joe
of Core
make a
Horror.
whore out of himself.
And
Make the
check
best
out
horror out of
Life
myself that I
MD.
can be.
Momo Nomo TikTok as well, because there's some
And-
things on there I think you might get a kick out of.
And Mormon Snark and Third Verse.
And
Right.
you can find me on
And
YouTube. I've got a
Jules.
lot of content out now. So
And
And what's
look
your
for
channel?
Tim. Look for Tim
Rio
in the
for
waiting
Life,
room of a
Tim
hospital near you someday. soon.
yes.
No, don't say that.
No.
I didn't know that, Kim. That's good to know.
Oh, say it
Oh
again.
yeah.
What?
I've got a lot more content out, and then I do a lot with anti-Scientology, JW. There's all different communities I'm in. But First Coffee with Susie, I do a lot there, and all kinds of, you name it. I'm exploring the world outside of this
So your channel
Mormonism.
is, what's the name of your
Real for
channel again?
Life. Real for
Real
Life,
for
Kim
Life.
D.
Okay, right. Okay.
Randy, we should interview Rio
Again.
Yes.
about as an update to all the things you've been doing lately.
Oh yes, changes.
Sounds good.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
showing up for myself. You
Here
know,
you
I'm
go.
not
Excellent.
established or anything, but even showing up here on Tuesdays, you can't have women voices if you don't show up.
That's
And
right.
Right?
it's
We need more women's voices here.
I just
Ladies,
show up for me because I'm tired of sitting back watching, if that makes sense. It's time to engage and be a part of my own life.
That's right.
right.
You got the calling. I've known it for a long time, Kim. I've known it from the moment I met you, saw your comments on my videos. I'm like, that one's got the calling. And
Yeah.
you're doing it. Good for you. Good for you.
Yes. Took
Good
a
for
long
you.
time, slow and steady though.
Many
But it's
are
having a
closed, but
welcoming
few are
community,
frozen.
an area like this. What Jean
That's
is
it.
doing with Randy and all of it, it helps everyone.
that's right. A rising tide lifts all boats.
We should
Mhm.
do a GoFundMe for Tim where he we do a documentary where he goes back to Germany and apologizes to everybody that he taught.
Hey, yeah, please. Start a GoFundMe. Gladly.
That
Gladly.
Sounds good.
That'll be fun.
Do I get to film this documentary? Let's do this.
Yeah.
Sure. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
That
we
could
will
be a thing.
and we will end up in Russia.
I'll coordinate the
I was
travel and
about
lodging.
to say, can we stop off at Poland while we're there?
We can stop in Poland.
Yeah.
And we will go. There's one place I want to go in Russia. Yeah,
Tim will do the movie for free, but the travel budget will be astronomical.
I'll do it for free.
Not if you were raised good Mormon, travel and lodging. That's simple.
That's
right.
very simple. Hey, girl. Oh, never mind.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks everybody for watching.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good week. Take care.
2026. One
Stay
full month
warm
is
for those
over.
of you in cold climates. Stay warm, man.
Stay
Yes.
warm.